Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video, we are going to discuss with you guys another Java developer interview question. So we have already uploaded couple of videos on this topic. If you want, you can watch that videos as well. I'll add the playlist link in the description. So now any further delay, let's get started. So in this video, we are going to discuss finalize method of object class. Okay, so in this video, we are going to see what is finalize method and what is the use of finalized method. Okay, and also we'll see like how you can use finalized method in your code. Okay, so first, what is finalize method, right? So finalize is a method in java.lang.object class that was meant to be called by the garbage collector GC just before an object is destroyed to let you perform cleanup like close file or DB connection, right? So basically finalize method is called by garbage collector, right? And why do we need to use finalize method? To do the cleanup tasks. Okay, means to close any resource. It can be a file, it can be a DB connection, right? And when finalize method will be called just before an object is destroyed. So three things you have to remember. Let's see the syntax of finalized method, right? So like the access modifier is protected and the return type is void, and basically it throws throwable. Like throwable is the parent of error and exception, right? So throwable is the parent of error and exception, right? So now next you have to write your cleanup code, and then at the end you have to call or like invoke super.finalize. So finalized method comes under object class, right? So when you do super.finalized, object class finalized method will be called. Means the parent class finalized method will be called. So parent mean will be the object, right? So object class finalized method will be called. I think it is clear. Okay. So now let's go to our next slide. So nowadays finalized method is not a preferable option. Why? You see all of that reasons here. Okay, so why it is discouraged? First of all, it is like unpredictable. Means you do not know when GC will call it or even if it will. Okay, so it may possible GC is not calling your finalized method. Okay, and even if it is calling, you don't know when it will be called, right? And the second reason is performance impact. So GC has to do extra work. It is true. Why? Because now GC has to do the cleanup work as well. Means the primary work was GC has to destroy the object, okay? But now GC has to do the cleanup work as well. All the cleanup work that you have mentioned in your finalized method, okay? So obviously there is a extra work that GC has to do, okay? Now the last is it code deprecated in Java 9 and in Java 18 is totally code removed, but in Java 9 also it code deprecated. Okay, if we can summarize all of this, finalize was used for cleanup before object destruction, but it is now deprecated, right? So it got deprecated in Java 9 and in Java 18 is totally got removed, right? Because it is unpredictable, right? We'll see why it is saying it is unpredictable. We'll see an proper example why we are saying it is unpredictable. Okay, so no need to worry, we'll go step by step. Prefer try with resources or cleaner API. Okay, we'll see this one as well, like how we can use try with the resources to do any cleanup work, or like if you want to do some operations, okay, with the resources, and then after end we'll just want to close all the resources, whatever we have opened we want to close. For that we have another better option we can say, which is try with resources and cleaner API. Okay, so now let's go to our IDE to see an example of finalized method. Right. So now we are in our IDE. Here we will see an proper example of how you can use finalized method in your code. Okay. So first, what we'll do now, we'll create an object of this class. Okay. So demo equals to new finalized demo, right? So now the point is new finalized demo is the object, okay, and this particular object is referred by this demo reference, okay, and this object is stored in our heap memory. Okay, that is also fine. So what we want to make this object, the object we have just created with this new finalized demo, we want that object should be eligible for garbage collection. For that, what we can do, we have to make that object not reachable, right? So for that, what we can do, we can do demo equals to what? Demo equals to null. We can do. So now the object we have just created is no more reachable because we do not have any reference. With that, we can point out that object. Okay, I think it is clear. So now we can just simply call our garbage collection here. Okay, system.jc. Simple. So now you have to override your finalized method. Okay. So what was the access modifier? Access modifier was protected, if you can remember, right? Protected. And then the return type was void. And then finalized. Okay. It throws throwable. So now here you can write your cleanup code, that thing, and also you have to annotate this with override. Okay, so now here you can write something like, you can obviously you can do the cleanup work, like you can close some resources that you have opened. Okay, but here we do not have anything that we are closing and all, so we can simply write this out. You can just comment like cleanup code. Okay, this is a cleanup code. Okay, maybe we are not like writing a proper logic to close your resources, but you can think of it as a cleanup code. Okay, so even though we are only writing some print statement, but that is fine. Okay, because this code is totally for the understanding purpose. So now the point is, when you will close some resources, you may get some errors or exceptions. Okay, and it's totally your responsibility to handle all of that errors and exceptions, right? So in Java we have try catch block that we can use to handle the errors or exceptions. Okay, so we will do the same here as well. Okay, and in the catch block you can catch the exceptions, like catch all kind of exceptions. Okay, in stack trace, right? And there will be another finary block. Okay, so what we will do, in finary block will always execute. Okay, so if there is any exception or there is no exception, always finary block will execute. Okay, so now here what we can do, here we will call our parent class finalized method, means the object class finalized method will be called here. Okay, here maybe we can write some print statement like this one, like here we are calling the parent class finalized method. Okay, so I think it is clear. So after this we can just write some print statement like completed, like the execution code completed. Okay, now okay, yeah, pretty much that's it we need to do. So maybe we can run this code. Okay, this is the flow, like first the completed and then the cleanup code. Okay, in the try block, so as there is no exceptions, so that catch block won't execute. So now we are in our finally block. Okay, so maybe you can run it again. You are getting different output. Okay, means the execution flow is not same. right? So there's no problem with the main method. Okay, so there is a concept comes into the picture. Okay, so system.gc is only making a request. Okay, there could be two chances: the request code accepted or the request code rejected. If the request code rejected, in that case, this finalized method won't execute. Okay, if the request code accepted, then obviously finalized method will execute for sure. But we don't know when finalized method will execute, as you have seen in the output as well, right? Here you are seeing like the finalized method has been printed before completed. If you run it again, now you are seeing the finalized method has been called after the cleanup code. Means after this type block, the finalized method code invoked. Okay, so there is a proper sequence, right? So there can say obviously there is some kind of uncertainty or like unpredictability. That's why it is nowadays discouraged. We have better solutions actually to avoid finalized method. And also I just wanted to point out one more thing. If you hover over on this finalized method, you can see now it's saying like finalized method is now deprecated since Java 9. Okay, and as I have mentioned in our slides, like Java 18 it got totally removed and it got deprecated in Java 9. Okay, so this is also one thing you can remember. Okay, so now what are the better solutions we have? So we can use try with resources. Okay, we'll see an example as well. And the second thing, you can use closed method, like explicit closed methods we have. You can just use them. Okay, what we can do, we can see an example like how we can use explicitly closed method to close resources. Okay, it's quite simple and straightforward, we can say. File input string. Okay, then maybe user dot txt. Okay, can use try catch block. Okay, so try catch exception e, and then you can have your finally log. Okay, so now what you can do, you have this file input stream. So maybe you can do right, and then here you can do closed. So there is some exceptions that you have to handle. Okay, IO exception you have to handle. So now the point is here, if it's getting some kind of like exceptions, the catch block will be there to handle that. Okay, or like we can say the block will be there to catch that exception. Okay, and as we know, finally block will always execute. So obviously the resources we have opened in our try block, in the finally block it will always closed. Okay, so there is also one thing, there's some chances may be possible like finally block won't even execute. Okay, there can be some possibilities. Okay, so like if we use system.exit, like here if we use system.exit, then you will see if block won't even execute. That time obviously this resources on closed. That is not a correct thing to do. So that's why it's preferred to use try with resources. Okay, but this is also one thing you can remember, like we can have our explicit closed methods to close the resources. So try, then okay, a catch. Okay, so here you can write like exception e. Okay, this one you can do. So now you no need to many finally block to close any resources. You know what? Why? Because when the try block will finish its execution, that time automatically the resources will be closed. You no need to do explicitly. Okay, and we can say it is quite safe because as we have already seen, like finally block may not be executed if we have system.exit in our code. Okay, so that's why it's better to use try with resources. Okay, so we can just try to do one more thing, right? We can just try this out. Maybe obviously we'll get some exceptions and all, but I just wanted to show you one thing, like finally, look, okay, I just wanted to show you if you have something like system.exit that time, you will definitely it will print you can print the exception. But if you have system.exit in your try block, then the finally block won't execute. I just wanted to show you the same. Okay, the executing this one. Okay, so if you see now, the finally block is not executing. Okay, but if we do not write this system.exit, if you now run this one, now we can see this finally block is getting executed. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's not like always finally block will execute. Sometimes it may possible finally block will not execute if we have system.exit. There is some other ways as well. But yeah, that could be one way you can avoid finally block. The best way is this one, like use try-use resources, okay, or cleaner API. Like there you can have a separate API. That API you can call to do the cleanup tasks. Okay. I think this one is also clear. So yeah, that's all pretty much for this video. I hope this video was helpful for you. And if you have any doubts, any questions, do let me know in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer all of your comments. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye bye.